at Daytona International Speedway. It's the race with the Dragon Chain car.
You know, the SEC has stepped in and basically said, look, you know, we're in the process of regulating this space because there are too many scams, and we want to protect the layman's investor that doesn't really understand what they're putting their money into. And it's not necessarily a matter of dealing with the regulations that are in place today. It's the fear of how the regulations may change tomorrow retroactively. And that's the fear that's creating all of this FUD all over the space.
I'm an executor. I make sure, you know, for me, the dream was always to take a vision like a Bill Gates vision, a Steve Jobs vision, and be the one to help make it a reality.
This technology itself is meant to disrupt everything. Right? That's the whole point of it.
Bitcoin is the new guillotine. The reign of terror, like almost 30,000 elites were killed, which it had to purge the system. And it gave us freedom and democracy as we know it.
I think Americans might want to move aggressively. I don't think the regulators want to move aggressively. I just hope they don't move so slowly. People decide, wow, I got to go to Gibraltar, or I got to go to, you know, the crypto valley in Switzerland.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
So we're busy working on the commercial platform to make sure that it's ready for release. It's coming up really soon now, and we're excited about it.
No, I don't. Fair. And this is how we do that?
No, I don't want to.
I'm kind of nervous. I mean, obviously, I'm super excited about our product, but I mean, like, when you have something that's this big about to just drop, when really we're on such tight deadlines, it's really hard to gauge on how this is going to work.
It was some of the most stressful work I've ever had to deal with.
I know, that's a lot of work and a lot of time and a lot of, I don't know, just being unsure. And
I mean, I think we're solving a problem that has never been solved before, and we're doing it in a way that no one's ever thought to. So we're writing code in a language that I don't think anyone's ever written a smart contract for before, and that's kind of cool.
We're just really giving a lot more freedom, and that's really what expands technology, is people thinking of things in different ways. I think we're giving people a really good platform to just excel and explore and just build cool.
There are systemic problems at all levels of management, but it's fun when I'm writing code.
Like, okay, we're thumbs up. We're all good. We're all ready for the commercial launch. And I come out of the meeting, and I'm like, how are we? And they're like, we're working on this additional feature. And I'm like, wait a minute, additional feature? Like, I'm sorry, we were ready to go. Who asked for an additional feature? And of course, our esteemed director of marketing, Jonelle.
Hello.
I'll clean that up and I'll send it to you.
Okay, cool. Awesome. ETA?
20 minutes?
Yes. Cool. But good, you know, good job, guys. 24-hour period. Nice.
Thank you.
The dream was always to take a vision like a Bill Gates vision, a Steve Jobs vision, and be the one to help make it a reality. You know, that there's so many visions out there, but there's some actual visions worth helping out to build. And I feel like the world, the solutions, the good to society that Joe's vision that he's trying to execute is something worthwhile. So that for me to be part of that, I'd be pretty happy with that.
So the Dragon Chain commercial platform will launch on April 5th, Satoshi's birthday.
Yeah, so one of the big dates kind of coming up is April 5th, when the actual commercial platform is released. The whole one this is the one that we're going to be presenting to every enterprise. We actually have this product, this package to present to the world in regards to, you know, this is it, this is the dream, here it is. So it's gonna be exciting to market.
Holy
So yeah, we just launched a platform.
It was successful, and there was whiskey to be had.
I helped launch tokens, or these ICOs, initial coin offerings. As soon as that token's minted, you have liquidity.
I wouldn't stop paying attention to this space yet because you just had a whole migration exodus of people from Wall Street that are now working on projects in crypto. So the talent raid from crypto to Wall Street is enormous.
I think the market continues to go higher because there's value there.
Steph, would you, I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, but I mean, you named Macy's as one of the stocks, and obviously it had a great start and then stuttered just last, 10 days ago, a week ago, and fell from 41 to 35. Is that one of the ones you'd look at again now?
Okay, let's turn this bad boy up.
John Najarian started playing football in Chicago for the Chicago Bears in 1981. I only played for 4 games and then I got cut. I didn't want to go anywhere else. I wanted to stay in Chicago. And luckily, the trading floors were pretty attractive back then because they had all these, relatively young men and women that are jumping up and down, screaming, waving their hands. I traded on the floor for about 25 years. 2005, we started building a brokerage firm called Trade Monster, eventually selling it to E-Trade for $750 million. We began in 2012 and 13 starting to trade cryptocurrencies, and by 2017, we were pretty active in it. I helped launch tokens, or these ICOs, initial coin offerings. I help people when they're launching those by doing videos with them at the NASDAQ, for instance. I think eventually you'll see more and more people trading stock for Bitcoin, Bitcoin for stock, and so forth, back and forth. Anybody can buy it in any amount. They don't have to be 100,000. They don't have to be super qualified investor. You're not tied up with your money for 4 years or 5 years while you wait for the company to come public. As soon as that token's minted, you have liquidity. Not everyone's a winner, don't mean to say that, but there's a lot of them that are winners, and you can recognize that in your wallet right now.
When I started covering this as a journalist, back then it was all about how far can this thing go? How far can the price go up? And then as the price sort of subsided, Wall Street was the natural place to look, to see, all right, the price is down, the public is less interested, but does that mean that Wall Street is less interested? And the answer was no. I reported on at least 4 people leaving New York to join a crypto firm. The talent raid from crypto to Wall Street is enormous, and that also speaks to why I wouldn't stop paying attention to this space yet, because you just had a whole migration exodus of people from Wall Street that are now working on projects in crypto. And it's ironic, right, that a player like the New York Stock Exchange is getting involved in the space, because when this whole thing came about like 8 years ago, right, the idea was, how can we create a rival payment system to Wall Street that left our economy in ruins? That precipitated this crypto revolution, right? Here we are 10 years later, and Wall Street and the big banks are trying to shove themselves inside of it. Middlemen, essentially, for this product that was developed to eliminate middlemen.
First time people started to think about there's more to Bitcoin than just Bitcoin. It's the technology behind a blockchain that has all this potential.
We're seeing a lot of the innovation come out of emerging markets.
All the regulators, SEC, FINRA, all over the world, they need to quit, get real jobs, get in the Bitcoin industry, get in the crypto industry, and get on board.
Here in Toronto, we ran the first Ethereum meetup It was still very grassroots. One of the main big things that we started to do is we actually ran the first Bitcoin Expo in Canada, where I actually got brought on to help with the marketing and operations of it, and started getting involved in a lot of different projects in the space. So what I find in the space is it's always been through almost these different phases and these different groups of audiences that have come into the space to make it grow and to make it evolve. I think we're at a pivotal moment right now in the space that we're about to hit mainstream adoption, and we're about to actually get to the masses.
You know, it comes back to that community, right? Like if we're able to build a community where people feel like, hey, other people are just tackling the same problem I'm tackling, whether it be in a different industry or in a different country, that's okay, but we're all tackling the same problem. And we're at that forefront of like, you know, making history happen.
Tell me, Maddie, does it inspire you to have your mom in this field, in blockchain? We do a lot of international tax structuring. It's not only focused on international tax. For me, it's a broader viewpoint and perspective. And that comes essentially from canvassing the world for the regulation that's the best in the best jurisdiction. But we're seeing a lot of the innovation come out of emerging markets. You're seeing the Caribbean, Africa, and soon to be Latin America and Asia really taking stances that make companies want to go to them. And then after that, it's just a matter of where is it that you want to be based, and all of the other factors that you have to take into consideration.
You provide those commercial banks or financial institutions with the mobile wallet, the ATM, the merchant processing system, all connected to that digital dollar issued by central bank. So we built the entire stack and we launched it in Barbados, and now we're expanding into other areas.
Barbados has a digital dollar.
Barbados has a digital dollar now. It's a proud moment because this is a region that's been ignored forever. It's not done in any field or any industry. It's been known for sun and sand, and now it's being known for tech. And it's to show the rest of the world that's what you're up against. You're up against that type of regulator.
I'm the Minister for National Security for the government of Bermuda. Bermuda was always innovating to stay on top of it, to bring people to Bermuda, to bring innovation to the world, to make money and survive. And so what we decided to do that no other country had done, that we're gonna put some legislation in place that would allow people to say, you know what, I'm gonna choose Bermuda, not only because it's beautiful, but because Bermuda has a regulation that will allow us to have regulatory certainty. So in April of this year, we passed the ICO legislation. So if a person has an ICO and they want to raise money or they want to set it up, well, Bermuda is one of the few countries in the world that have ICO legislation.
They're open and they're having these discussions, and when you look at a country like Bermuda that has, in less than 6 months, passed legislation, works with companies, you can get an ICO basically launched within 5 weeks. That's very impressive. And that demonstrates it's a commitment to blockchain companies and a commitment to their local population as well.
A lot of the regulations in Canada is following our neighbor down south. So the whole regulatory landscape in Canada right now is still very gray, very unclear.
The regulators are looking at the 19th century and the 20th century. They have no idea what's happening in the 21st century. Bitcoin will put all the regulators out of business. All the regulators, SEC, FINRA, all over the world, they need to quit, get real jobs, get in the Bitcoin industry, get in the crypto industry, and get on board, because they're all going to be disintermediated within the next 5 years.
We're an American blockchain, you know, it's NASCAR.
When you can take $1,000, turn it into $50,000 in a matter of 30 days, 60 days, or whatever, it's an opportunity for those with less today to gain more for themselves tomorrow.
I think it's the modern day space race. I think it's going to be who succeeds, the United States or China, in getting a digital currency that is going to get worldwide adoption.
I was 2.5 months old. My mom moved me from Stockton, California to Canton, Ohio. Welfare, Section 8, it was a struggle for my mom. My mom basically raised me and, you know, buying stuff at yard sales for 10 cents and flipping it for 60 bucks at a flea market. You know, I would ask her, you know, like, where's my dad? What's up with my dad? And all she would ever tell me was just he was involved with really bad people. I tracked him down. I was 21 and he had just gotten out of prison. The first thing I said was, just to let you know right now, I don't want anything from you. I said, but I think you're my father. And he said, who is this? And I said, this is Jason Appleton, son of Gene Appleton. And he said, oh my God, you're my boy. I was stumbling around YouTube and I saw some YouTubers talking about, you know, cryptocurrency, blockchain, Bitcoin, ICOs. You know, the one thing everybody on YouTube says is, you know, do your own research. So I did, and I just read everything. I started buying books on blockchain. I went out and I maxed 3 credit cards to build my first Ethereum mining rig. I spent 30 hard days, and I just had this really powerful epiphany where I understood the technology, all of this technical stuff that was just like gibberish to me for so long. But I kept reading, pushing through, even though I didn't understand a lot of it. And it was almost like it all came together while I was sleeping. And I woke up and I realized this is the future. I was mining Ethereum. And so I was mining it up, and I would start investing it into just all kinds of different stuff. And I turned that into 90 grand in 60 days. People who are born into wealth are born with this expectation of themselves and the world around them to provide opportunities for them to make money, right? It's a mindset where it's like, I know I'm gonna be wealthy, and so I'm open to exploring new ways to make sure that happens. People who are born without money, they're born into the grind. They're of the mindset that they're never going to amount to more than the number of hours they punch in at the factory. And so it's this mindset that I'm trying so desperately to break in people, because it's a different day, it's a different age, and there's so much more opportunity right now for somebody that has very little and be able to turn that into a lot.
Back when I first got into Bitcoin, there was not a lot of education out there. There wasn't a lot of information. The websites were janky. The resources for me to learn back then weren't nearly as robust as they are now. However, people now don't have an excuse because there's information about Bitcoin everywhere. And so I always try to implore people to learn more about what Bitcoin is, what blockchain is. This is not about some kind of random digital payment, you know, or digital currency. It's really a movement. Obviously, China going all in on blockchain was a direct result of the Libra hearings.
Thank you, and I'm looking forward to answering your questions.
Thank you very much.
Why would you have a project like that?
We provide the guidance to the regulators.
Will you commit to waiting until you get approval from every U.S. regulator that Libra affects before you'll support launching Libra? Yes or no?
Everyone agrees Facebook has become too powerful. But the more important thing is basically what that signaled to China is that, hey, they're not going to make the first move. They're not going to power forward with cryptocurrency and blockchain. Now it's our opportunity to do that. I think it's the modern day space race. I think it's going to be who succeeds, the United States or China, in getting a digital currency that is going to get worldwide adoption.
Daytona International Speedway. It's the race with the Dragon Chain car, so.
My name's Corley Joy. I drive the 72 Dragon Chain TriStar Chevrolet. It's my second year in Cup, so I'm knocking all the rookie rust off, and I'm in my sophomore season having fun with it.
The crypto community is super cool. Like, it's just great to see all these different projects, and especially ones that are out there helping the world. Like, this is just some really awesome stuff that we're going to change the world with.
I mean, it was a funny thing because it just fits perfect because we're an American blockchain, you know, it's NASCAR. It's not to promote the coin or to promote the price or anything stupid. It's just, you know, you think about it, we're after enterprises, we're after startups, we're after American innovation, so that's what it's about.
When you can take $1,000, turn it into $50,000 in a matter of 30 days, 60 days, or whatever, it's an opportunity for those with less today to gain more for themselves tomorrow. You know, the SEC has stepped in and basically said, look, you know, we're in the process of regulating this space because there are too many scams, and we want to protect the layman's investor from putting money into something that doesn't have merit. A wall has been put up in front of all of us. And so when you look at other countries who are, I mean, you know, there are much smaller countries that are much further involved and further ahead than we are when it comes to this space. And that's why a lot of these major companies with very solid projects, fantastic white papers, amazing all-star teams are saying we don't want any part of the United States because we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. We're not worried about today. We're worried about 6 months from now, 3 months from now, and then whatever that change may be, falling back on us retroactively and creating a whole world of problems. And then we have to go back and play cleanup. Nobody has time for that. This is a forward-thinking process. You should have the same freedoms that anybody else has, and that freedom shouldn't be dictated by how much money you start with.
of freezing all of our assets.
Our values are being hijacked by the criminal justice system.
You know, on top of Dragon Chain getting subpoenaed, Joe, Eileen, and I got individual subpoenas. It's stressful and it's distracting.
So it's been 2 years, and my stress level is higher.
So we're in Chicago, a block or so away from the SEC building, and we have a meeting there all day today.